I already know this video is going to get a ton of dislikes. Why? Because it's not all moons, Lambos, and roses. The fact is that there are some serious issues in the crypto world that must be addressed. We've been discussing China's creation of their own national centralized cryptocurrency for a few weeks now. But is there something larger at play here than just a digital yuan? Could China be positioning itself to make a crypto power move? Let's get it. Hello and welcome to BitBoyCrypto, your one-stop shop for all things related to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. If this is your first time here, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for notifications so you never miss a video. To take the conversation even further, then please make sure to join one of my two Telegram groups, BitSquad for crypto chat or BitSquad traders to discuss trading strategies. All right, guys, this is probably not going to be a popular video. However, if you stick this video out until the end, I'm going to leave you with some good news and my personal views on this matter. But we need to look at the truth. If we are afraid to examine the ins and outs of the crypto world, then we are doomed to fail. We have to take an honest evaluation of our space, and there's one thing out there that I do not feel great about. And in my opinion, we need to start discussing this issue in case we need a failsafe. So what is this pressing issue? Well, many people believe that China actually has the power to destroy Bitcoin. Recently, a viewer of the channel asked me to look into this, and I'll be totally honest with you. I was shocked at just how little information there is out there about the subject. So this video is my attempt to start a dialogue surrounding this topic, because it is very serious. It's much more serious than any of the issues that float around in the same orbit as this one. Those issues get talked about a lot, and yet all of those issues pale in comparison to the seriousness of China attempting to destroy Bitcoin. Those issues include miners shutting their rigs down after the halving because BTC will no longer be profitable to mine at the lower rate of block rewards. This is not a serious threat. It could affect hash rate for a few days, but ultimately the Bitcoin mining difficulty would drop and new miners would come onto the network. Nothing to worry about. Another issue people get worried about are government crypto bans and stablecoin bans like the one we've seen recently in China, India, and talked about in the world. Now, how have all those worked out? Not so great. Those stories are a lot more FUD than substance. You can't ban something that is decentralized. We see tons of articles and videos on those topics, but those are not real threats to Bitcoin or altcoins. But you see, Bitcoin's biggest strength can be turned into its biggest weakness. Decentralization in the context of Bitcoin mining means that anyone with a mining rig can jump onto the network. It's not restricted. Bitcoin doesn't say, hey, you're in a communist country, we can't let you mine BTC. It also doesn't say, hey, you already have 7 miners, don't you think that's enough? The Bitcoin network is open to all. So if this is the case, then how could that positive thing be used for abuse? Wonder what that could be about. Ah yes, the great quest for monies. People see Bitcoin mining as a pure business now. Your typical miner is no longer a pimple-faced 20-year-old taking a break from his World of Warcraft game like the early days. These are professional companies with mining farms that are taking advantage of cheap electricity to make fortunes. Mining is mostly done in pools. So let's check out the Bitcoin chart when it comes to mining pools and see just how much of the hash rate each pool is using. This little pie chart here breaks down what the scariest proposition in all of crypto is. A huge what if that must lie in the back of our minds as we try to ignore it. F2 pool, Poolin, BTC.com, Ant pool, 58 coin and 1T hash, Huobi pool, OKX pool, Via BTC, BTC top, and many smaller mining pools are all Chinese owned. Just the ones that I named make up 79.6% of all the Bitcoin hash rate. So while each of these pools constitutes a small percentage of the overall hash power, basically 80% or more all sits within the border of a totalitarian communist regime that we, the United States, are currently at economic war with. You see, the problem with governments shutting down Bitcoin would be that every single country in the entire world would have to be in sync with one another. If one country allowed it, then Bitcoin-related activities would just move there. It's like banning the internet. If every country banned it, then people wouldn't be able to use VPNs. No IP would be safe. But we know this is virtually impossible. China cannot shut down the Bitcoin network, but they could attack it, and attack it fiercely. It would basically be a Trojan horse attack. For China to attack Bitcoin, they would have to take over the hash power. Now, in a country like the United States, this would not be possible. The government can't just come in and force businesses to hand over control. We've seen this during the recent pandemic. It was all the president could do just to try to get corporations to work hand in hand with the government to manufacture ventilators and medical supplies we desperately needed, or at least thought so. And many people criticize the president for just that. But of course, they criticize him whatever he does, so it doesn't really matter. But the fact is, 80% of the controlling power of Bitcoin lies within the borders of a nation that's not actually free at all. Seems a little ironic. China has a long history of taking over private companies at will. I use private loosely because it's communism. Businesses and the state are one. Just 2 years ago, one of China's biggest companies, Alibaba, handed over its business to the state. CEO and founder Jack Ma retired. If you've watched any of my Chinese crypto plan videos, then you would know the way China does business. The government operates in the shadows, but is constantly there. There's no doubt Jack Ma was forced to step down and hand over the controlling interest of his company to the government. It's a common practice in China. While private businesses built modern China up into the economic powerhouse that it has now become, the state constantly reminds business who is in control, and that's Beijing. So hypothetically, if the Chinese government wanted to take over all of the mining pool operations in the country, they could do it. There's no doubt here. This would give China the ability to take over the hash rate of Bitcoin completely. All they would need is 51% of the hash rate to attack the network, but they would have easily 80% at their disposal. This could create double spend transactions and basically completely wreck the network. And unlike most 51% attacks we see, China wouldn't be temporarily taking it over. They could mount a prolonged attack that could go so far as to basically destroy Bitcoin. I mean, they couldn't really kill it, but they could certainly hold it under the water until it says uncle. The question has long been, why would they conceivably want to do this? And up until now, it hasn't seemed very important. Like, what would the point have been to attack it? It wouldn't be financially motivated. If they attacked Bitcoin and rendered the network useless, then the value of each individual Bitcoin would drop to basically zero, dependent upon how long their attack lasted for. Like, what's the buying level for a compromised coin? The attack wouldn't be an act of war. I mean, no country uses Bitcoin for its currency. It certainly wouldn't hurt the United States. But now, with the creation of the DCEP, the digital yuan, now China could have some motivation to do this. Bitcoin could be seen as a competitor to the DCEP. If Chinese citizens all suddenly learn how to use a crypto wallet via their DCEP app, then they could just start jumping over to decentralized crypto wallets in short order. If China saw this en masse, then that could be exactly what could propel them to make this kind of crypto power move. There could be some logistical hurdles for China to clear in order to enact a plan like this, but they could do it. So what would ultimately happen in this scenario? The beautiful thing about a decentralized open source network is that if something like this occurred, believers in Bitcoin could just create a fork that would not allow for centralized mining farms. I'm not going to pretend to be knowledgeable enough about Bitcoin's code and the way it's mined to explain how, but I'm pretty sure something like this could be done to prevent this in the future. In this nightmare scenario, though, Bitcoin developers could also move on from proof of work mining and switch to a totally different consensus model. That's definitely an option. But the long and short of it is that you cannot kill Bitcoin. It's an idea. It's like playing whack-a-mole. Every time a plan to destroy Bitcoin gets enacted, another way to keep it alive will be created. And the knowledge of this could be the only barrier between Bitcoin and a Chinese attempt to overthrow it. But now it's your turn. Drop your comments down below and let me know why this is either a possible or impossible scenario. I've done a lot of digging on this topic and I haven't found any hard evidence that China could not do this. Maybe you know something I don't. If you do, drop it down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to become a member of the fastest growing community in crypto, the Bit Squad. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day. BitBoy out.